Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete, and we have a exciting virtual summit for you today where we bring speakers 5 minutes, 3 points, because we want to get you ready for the trends that are happening. They're happening today, right as we're working. And if you know these trends and understand these trends, you're going to be better off to be able to take advantage of them. So let me go through them, but we're going to have different speakers. 5 minutes, 3 points. Ultimately, 10 speakers, 15 talks on the first and third Friday of every month. That way, we bring you different speakers with their 3 points because as you see in this, you're going to see the value of a presentation, the value of keeping it simple. The mind works in threes, and we want to make it easier for you to have the right mindset. So, first and third Friday from 8 to 9:30, where we'll have speakers, the best we can bring to you to be able to help you. As we say, your thoughts with personal development are daily. Influencing your thoughts will help you to be better prepared for the future. We have the digital asset revolution. That is happening right now. What we're doing today is creating digital assets. And when we create the assets, we have value because whatever we put out there on digital form can be enjoyed globally. So we want to encourage our people to have a digital strategy. That's why we do this on the first and third Friday. The entrepreneurial revolution, well, it's here and it's happening fast. It's never been easier to be an entrepreneur, but it's a hard path. So you can be a digital entrepreneur. You can create products. You can create things that you want to be. Because we always talk about creating versus consuming. The average person watches 4 hours of TV a day and scrolls 2 hours of social media. That's consuming. We want you to create. Like the speakers you're going to hear today, they're creating. We are born to create. And if we have that creative mindset, it's going to fill your heart and your business. Crypto revolution. Well, if you haven't been following that, we're shifting fast because there's truth in crypto. Bitcoin to be exact. There's going to be a lot of crypto out there, but when you have a limited amount of crypto coins, 21 million, you can't print more money. And when you can't print more money, you can't manipulate the money. We got to have truth in currency. AI revolution. Well, if you've been living under a rock, that's the only person that's not hearing the AI. It's hitting, it's coming fast. And you have to know how you're going to apply it to your business. What are you going to do to enhance the value of what you create in the marketplace using a tool like AI? It's going to radically change everything. So being aware of it is important. And if you go to petekane.me/AI, you can take our free course. Jeff Bourgeois, who has an AI agency, is my partner. And you can have that course for free. Be familiar with it. And the last, mobile revolution. Look, the mobile phone, everybody's got a supercomputer in their hand. And that's going to impact your business because everybody has access to finding out information. And last is the personal development revolution. Our thoughts do matter. Be aware of influencing your mindset through your thoughts. And if you have a daily plan, because this summit is sponsored by Growth Day, so you can try it for 7 days. Try impacting your thoughts, the 5 to thrive. We'll talk about it later in the summit. The 5 to thrive. Your thoughts matter. And growth day is personal development daily. Okay, let's get on with our summit. That's 5 minutes there. Now, let me go into the next one. This one changed the course of really my focus because when I first found out about Daniel Priestley and the key person of influence, I was curious. Then I had Christian Dior on, and he told me about his assessment that he was going to offer our guests, viewers. And then I took the assessment. I've already heard of him. I've been hearing about him. Then when I took the assessment, it just came to life. Then I ordered his book. Then I listened to his podcast. I've listened to probably 1,000 hours. A little excessive, but that's just me. But his book, Key Person of Influence, talks about these 5 things: pitch, profile, product, presentation, and partnerships. You're going to hear people pitching. You're going to hear people presenting today. But you have to remember the 7-11-4. What does that mean? People now are going on a journey with you. They're going to be consuming 7 hours of you. 7 Hours is by Robin Dunbar. He says that when people are able to get to know you through your digital content, 7 hours, and make 11 buying signals. That's the 0 moment of truth through Google, meaning people raise their hand and say, I'm interested in knowing more. And they see you on 4 different platforms. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But a platform is a book. It's an assessment. It's a podcast. It is a workshop. It's a webinar. It's a post. Just different platforms. Just think of it as different platforms. When 11 hours gets consumed, 7 hours gets consumed, and the person makes 11 buying signals, and they see you on 4 different platforms, it's the brain just clicks. It's they know you, they like you, and they trust you, and they want to do business with you. So you got to put digital content out there. You got to put quality content out there for people to consume of you. If I meet you and I Google you or I check your profile online, because it's more than just Google now, it's YouTube. It is AI. It is different places. But if I read your book, maybe that's 2 hours, and I've listened to your podcast, and you have a book and you have podcasts out there, you're giving me an opportunity to get to know you, like you, and trust you. If that happens, I'm pursuing you. I'm also given buying signals, assessment, different things that tell me I'm interested. And that's where you always have to have people leaning into you, because if they're not interested in you, that's not a buying signal. That's why your pitch is so important. As I say, we generate leads, create cash flow, and build thriving communities, period. Now, if nobody says anything from that, don't go on to, oh, we do virtual summits, we do live events, we do this, we do this, we do this. The person's backing up and running because they are not as passionate about you, but you have to wait for buying signals. People raising their hand saying, yes, I'm interested. Products are digital products. They could be your book. It could be a digital podcast. Those are available. As you see in our summit today, that 5-minute 3-point talk is a digital product. So they're making their presentation 5 minutes, 3 points. And they're forming partnerships between each other because together you're better. And if you think of this book as 7-11-4 and the 5 P's in the book, you're going to be much better off. You will be a person of influence. And that's what you have to focus on today to get the most out of you, because you are the magic, and anything's possible. Okay, now let's go on to people buy from people. This is a shift that has happened from social media. Over the years, people buy from people because they can connect with people emotionally. You see a few people on the screen, whether it's Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Brendan Bouchard, Joe Rogan, or Oprah Winfrey. You know of the person. A lot of these people have all kinds of businesses. I saw the other day Shaq has all these kinds of business. He's probably a billionaire, if not, well, if he's a multi millionaire, but he's probably a billionaire because of him. You know him and his personality. You don't know all the businesses he has. He has rearranged his businesses to be more aligned with who he believes he is and who he is to people. So people buy from people, not companies. So you, as an individual, the magic is in you. And anything is possible if you recognize the paradigm shift that's happening today. That's why you look at even somebody like Nike and Michael Jordan. They promoted the person. I want to be like Mike. I want to feel like Mike. I want to put on his Air Jordans. I want to be like Mike. It's not like I want to be like Nike. What's Nike? I mean, they're a big company, but they have personalities. Tiger, Roger Federer. They look for people in industries and then they promote the person. So if you're out there and you're thinking, I've been talking about my company, shift to you. You are the magic and anything's possible if you promote yourself. People get to know you, like you, and trust you. You don't have to promote your company. It'll come with it, but you are the magic and anything is possible. Promote you. Put your company off to the side. People buy from people. So if you want to go know more about that, we have some other videos. No, excuse me, other podcasts out there. So trust drives business and people buy from people. So wherever you think the Kardashians, they're building their name, their personality. Just think of people. It's all about people. People buy from people. And if you recognize that and make that paradigm shift, you are going to be the magic and your business will grow accordingly. But make that shift. And when you make that shift and you start putting your personality out there, when we talked about the 7, people got to get to know you. If they know you and like you, they begin that trust, they do business with you. So develop a digital know, like, and trust through you because you are the magic. Okay. Let me go on. Let me see here. Hold on here. Oh, man. Brian Bass, where are you, brother? Okay. Brian's on. Okay. We are working on the flow. Actually, we are about 1 minute ahead. So let me give a little break because we have a minute here. We connect our community with each other. So if you go to petekane.me/connect, all the things that we have going, we have a live event tomorrow where we have live speakers speaking for 5 minutes, 3 points. See a theme in there? 5 minutes, 3 points. But you can connect with the speakers. And the speakers get a chance to leverage a platform. The second biggest fear is public speaking. So if you let fear control you, it owns you. If you exercise faith and courage, you begin to break through. You begin to make those advancements in your development, in your thought process. But you don't do it without practicing. So 5 minutes, 3 points. Come to our live event, which is, if you use /live, you can register. And if you've been on my podcast before, and you can, by just going to pk.me and filling out a short assessment so I can know you, and I'll feature you and your story on our podcast. Once you do that, we invite you to be a part of our virtual event today and our live event once a month on the fourth Saturday. We also have other ways to connect. We do a workshop. We do a monthly webinar. We also do a weekly global connect through Growth Day. That way you can meet people globally, because you got to think globally, because if you think globally, you're going to expand your business, because the world changed. And if we don't change with it, and we don't act globally, if we don't think globally, you can act locally, but think globally. And this will enable you to get the most out of your development and your business. So let me take this off here. Oops. Oh man, what am I doing? There we go. Okay. All right. We have a fun time here. As soon as I can see Brian will be in the house. If I had somebody else, I would have them reaching out to Brian, but we can't. Okay. Let me just pivot here, because we're going to keep going on. Brian's going to talk about mindset. We'll come back to it in just a second. Jim Fuse is going to talk about Substack, and we'll come back to that. And Savannah Rose Johnson, a phenomenal young lady who is crushing it. And she's going to be a live speaker, but she couldn't make it because of conflict. So she will be with us tomorrow at our live event. So let's talk about this until Brian comes up, and then we'll go back to Brian. All right. This is the relationship wheel. This is what we call, let me get this off the screen here. This is what we call our network is our single biggest, most valuable asset. And if you're intentional about creating your relationship wheel, what does it mean? You are in the middle. This is you. And then here are your key strategic categories. And let me go to this. So you have 12 right here. These are your 12. Then you start building. These are people you know, like, and trust. People you've done business with. People that if you bring them with you as a team, because together you're better, then you're bringing to your ideal prospect a team, trusted people that they can leverage and use when they need them. And that's in our magazine, but that's another, you can always search us on our YouTube channel. You'll see plenty of information about it. But in here, we call it gold, or our crawl. It's like crawl, walk, run. You're constantly looking for building out your strategic team. When you do that, you do it through inviting them to be on your podcast so you can get to know them. Because if you don't recognize time as a asset, everybody has 24 hours. Nobody gets more. So you have to leverage, you have to use your time wisely. We call it prioritize daily action. So by prioritizing things differently, you will get more out of your day. Not working harder necessarily, because you want to work strategically on your day. So if you're building your 36 team, maybe it takes you a year to do it, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it does. Be intentional about building. Be intentional about putting your categories together first, 12 categories that are relevant to your business. When we went back to this is just an example. CPA, an attorney, a banker, an insurance agent, business broker, groups, clients, payroll, software, coach, high performance coach, of which I am, and real estate agent. So if you surround yourself, what do you see common in this is they all have clients too. They want to do the best for their clients. So you're building a relationship with these key people. Key person of influence has a key strategic partnership with these individuals. So that's where we get into leads. Oh, and somebody is in the house. That's Jim Fuse is in the house. So we're going to stop right here and we're going to bring Jim on because he's going to talk about, I tell you, it's my favorite subject right now. He turned me on to Substack and I love it. Let me get Jim in here. Hold in here. There. Oh, shoot. Didn't do that. Missed it there. There we go. Right there. There's Jim. Welcome, Jim.
Pete, great to see you. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I loved your Substack that you were sharing with us yesterday. So I would love for you, and I'll introduce you properly. Jim and I go way back, before COVID. We were going to do a university for a local association, and COVID hit, and it just sunk it because it was a live event, and we couldn't shift to a virtual event fast enough, so it didn't go anywhere. But anywhere, we kept going, and every time I need somebody that I need help with live streaming, I go to Jim. I go to Jim because he has perfected the art of bringing that live information to people. And recently, he's been doing it for a little bit, but he just turned me on to Substack and the value of it. So I wanted him to present to our community the three things that he emphasized with Substack. So, Jim, thanks for being here. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Pete. And first of all, I think one of the reasons that I got into Substack at first is it actually started in 2017, right? But a lot of us didn't really know about it. It was more of we'll call it a medium competitor. So it's more for writers, and it still is for writers, but they've really added a lot of features. And so it's a full-blown website for you. So if you're thinking about do I want to build a new website, right? You got people talking about high level, all these different things. Well, now you can actually just go, doesn't cost you anything. That's another big thing up front is you can start a Substack. You could have multiple Substacks if you really wanted to. And, the rules, there really are no rules in the sense that they're not saying, oh, you can't have a Substack about subject X or subject Y like you do on the other platforms. And there's a couple of things that have been going on in the world of Facebook lately that really made me start thinking about Substack. One is Facebook groups, and this has been several months ago, they stopped allowing you to go live in your Facebook group, we'll say easily. People were using, products like StreamYard, and now you had to go get the stream key and the stream URL. And so you weren't able to necessarily get the comments of your folks and share them to screen. And that's got, that's a little bit of the same thing with Substack to a point. But with Substack now, when you go live, because you're live in Substack, you can see the conversation there with your community, even when you're using a tool like StreamYard. And so I think that's where, the other thing that just came out the other day was that 97% of Facebook posts that are actually being seen don't have links. Well, that makes it really difficult when you're trying to share information. It's like they're really ratcheting down on taking people off their platform. So how does that help you as a small business owner, as a content creator trying to share, whether it's about products or services? And so that's what appealed to me about Substack. So you can build a community because why? Pete is a part of my community. You can be a free subscriber, you can become a paid subscriber, which kind of gets into my point number 3. So we'll go back to that later. But I get your email address when you subscribe. I can send you an individual email. I can email you that I'm going to go live. So now you've built community. There's a chat feature within your community. So you can ask questions, right? So now you get that idea of like, what does my community want to see more of? What are their pain points? So I think that's extremely powerful. And so to me, that's that equivalent of what we were doing in Facebook groups. And because you have a website basically that you can, uh, you know, paywall some stuff free for other things, you can put other resources there for your community that was not so easy to do with Facebook groups. And so I think that's where I would recommend anybody that's had a Facebook group that's maybe been struggling, head over to Substack. Because guess what? Don't we always talk about not building on rented land? Okay, maybe technically Substack is rented land, but I have your contact info. I have your email. I have your name. I have a way to start to build that relationship with you, not necessarily just on Substack. I can now come up with other ways. When you go live on Substack now, and so first of all, to go live, you have to have 10 subscribers. I don't think it's that hard for you to find 10 people that might be willing to at least subscribe. And I don't mean paid subscribers, just subscribe so you can start going live. Then you can request from Substack support, hey, I'd like to use your beta, which is what I did to get our TMP. I literally had it approved overnight. Now, just to be clear, I don't have a huge Substack crowd yet. I have about 80 subscribers. So it's not like I've got hundreds or thousands of subscribers. They gave me this feature, maybe because I've gone live previous to yesterday 2 times. But here was the beauty of StreamYard. I went live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and my Substack. In my Substack, I could see the comments of the people that were watching in Substack. And oh, by the way, Substack emailed my subscribers that I was going live and what the topic was. So it was very easy to set it up. And so then when you're done, it saves your live as a draft. So you can download that video, but obviously if you've got StreamYard, you can already download the recording anyway, or whatever software you might be using. I then was able to turn that into a blog post talking about what was it that I was talking about in this live video. And the video is at the top of the blog post if you want to go back and watch it. And so now I don't have to worry that in 30 days, like the one I did on Facebook, is going to disappear. It's there. It's got a title. It's going to get found. Now, you talk about SEO. Well, it's on a website. So this is, I think, extremely powerful as far as going live. I mean, even what Pete's doing right now, if he wanted to, he could start having this not only go live on YouTube, but also go live on Substack and build that community as well for, Podcast Pete. And then when I talk about monetization, well, I just recently went ahead and enabled what we call the pledges or subscribers on my page. And I got someone yesterday that subscribed for a year, right? And I charge $5 a month or $50 a year to be a part of my community. Now, what those people that are paid are going to get is they're going to get extras that the free don't. It might be that I'm going to have a monthly Zoom where they can come in and ask me questions. It might be that I'm going to do some Substack lives that only will go to my paid community as things grow. And also, because I know who the paid people are, I can email them specifically, maybe with other stuff that my free community won't get. And because I can put links in my blog post, they can also, it could be affiliate links, it could be links to connect with other people that I think highly of. Uh, there's no punishment. There's no algorithm that's going to say, oh, well, wait, Jim has links in here. We're not going to show this to the world. And really, it's not about so much, showing it to the world. It's about building that community. And the other beautiful thing is Substack gives you the ability to share your content on other platforms to drive people to come on over to Substack and see you. And you can always still go live in the app. So if you're out on the go and just want to do a quick live with your phone inside the app, that's also possible. So those are three things that I think, Pete, are amazing about Substack. And I just going to just continue to build on what I have with my Substack and encourage others to do it as well.
Love it, man. I just learned like two or three things during that because I geeked out when you invited me on yesterday, and I went, "Gosh, man, we have been talking about our team about putting more emphasis on our newsletter, on our subscription. I did 400 podcasts, and I'll bet you 300 don't know what I'm doing now because I haven't communicated with them. And so if you can't communicate with your community, you're basically alone with you're isolated from them. So you have to have that communication link. And I love what you've shared on this podcast and our this summit, that people can start building community, because you're right about Facebook. They're changing and they're not always in your best interest. In it certainly appears from my viewpoint that Substack has really solved a big problem, and that's helping you build community, helping you build an email list, helping you communicate with your community on a regular basis and be able to deliver your valuable content to your community. So, Jim, thanks so much. Tell our viewers how I looked for your contact information, but I didn't have it in. Tell our viewers how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I would say easiest way is go to LinkedIn, look for my name, Jim Fuse, and then I share my stuff there. I've actually I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on all those places, and I probably should have given you a QR code or something for my Substack, but I can get that to you to share. In fact, let me put it in the chat here if you want to share it with everyone.
Absolutely. We'll put it in the show notes too for,
Yeah.
the different links, because we're going to make this into a 5-minute, presentation. So we'll have it in there. So if you're listening to this after this day, just go into the show notes or go into the area information and you'll be able to see Jim's link to Substack and be able to learn from what he's doing, because your knowledge of live streaming and being able to bring that value to people is worth following and worth tapping into your knowledge and expertise, because we shorten our learning curve when we learn from our mentors. So
Yep.
thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Pete. It
I
was
will
great to be here.
appreciate you taking the time. It was a spur of the moment. So thanks for responding. I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much. All right. You have a good day.
Yeah.
All right, our next speaker. Let me go back. I believe it's Joe. No, Brian. Brian is in the house.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. So
Am I
good to
up?
have
I thought you
you
said, I don't know if you said 8:45. You said 8:30 to 9. So
here. Yeah, you know what? I had I wouldn't say I'm good at details. So
me neither.
but we just do what we can. I appreciate you coming on
Of
to
course.
really talk about a valuable subject. The mindset matters because our thoughts are part of our mindset. And if we don't do things intentionally, which I want our viewers to dial in to Brian, because I watched him speak at a meeting, local meeting, and I just was like smiling from ear to ear because I had never seen you in action. And man, you talk about commanding a room. Brian commands a room because he's passionate. He's worked on his mindset. He works on being better each day, and you can see the results of that day, because I hadn't seen you in two. Well, we never met in person because we did a podcast a long time ago. So I had never really had seen you in action until that day, and you crushed it. So thanks for being on. This was kind of like I got to get you in front of our community as quickly as possible.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. So.
The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, yeah, this morning we're just going to talk about mindset and why it matters. I was 21 years old when a mentor of mine came into my life, and he gave me a book. And I was not a reader. Let's just put it that way. I did not finish college. I wasn't interested in really any of that. And he gave me a book. And I said, yeah, I'm not really a big reader. And a little cocky, little attitude to myself. And he said, well, this book will help you make six figures. Would you read it? And I remember taking the book out of his hand. I said, I'll read the book. And I remember that weekend, I was in college. I was driving home, and I read a book called The Magic of Thinking Big for in a 3-day period, like a 200-something page book. And it changed my life. Got me on a track of understanding how successful people think. And at 21 years old, I learned that lesson. Original mentor of mine said the only difference between a ditch digger and a millionaire, just the way they think. And I hated that when I was 21 years old because I didn't know what that meant. Now that I'm 38, I think I know what it means a little bit more. And Pete had mentioned that I've been intentional with my mindset. I think that's a good word for it because I just learned at an early age the importance of it. And I saw that people that were really successful, top CEOs, athletes, business owners, they all invested into their mindset. I love sports. And if you think about the best of the best, the Tom Brady's, the Michael Jordans, Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant's, they're all athletic. They're all really good at what they do. But, everybody in their field is really good at what they do. It's not that Tiger Woods is such a better golfer than everybody else. It's that these guys have that. And they've prepared their mind. They've cultivated their mind to perform in situations where a lot of other people, that's where they fold when the pressure comes on or when it gets a little hard or the resistance comes. And I'm just going to talk about 3 ways. How can you change your mindset? And yes, you 100% can change it. Here's the bad news. You are where you are in life based on the way you think. Here's the good news. You can change the way you think. So I remember somebody telling me this a while ago, if you're not where you want to be in life and you're in a hole, and you're like, man, somebody put me in this hole. Then the bad news about that is you have to wait until somebody decides to take you out of that hole, right? But if you can admit, hey, I got myself here. I'm here because of the choices I've made, the way that I think. Then the great news is you can get yourself out of that hole. That should give you power. That should give you control over your life. So 3 things. Let's go. What are we reading? So if you're not reading books, I would highly recommend you add that to your daily routine. Doesn't mean you have to read like Warren Buffett and read hours a day. Start with 10 minutes. Start with a chapter. Start with a page. Just start reading. Start putting good stuff into your brain. And if you're young and you're new to reading and you're trying to improve in your career, I would recommend communication and people skills books. Books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, Skill with People. There's a million books out there that you can learn to improve your mindset. I will say out of the 3 topics that I'm talking about, this was the most recognizable habit that changed my life. I started reading books and I saw a direct correlation into the way that I thought. I saw myself being more calm. I was handling situations better. And so reading is crucial. People know me and Pete talk. I could talk about books forever because they're so powerful. It's somebody that's taken the lessons of their life and in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they've packed it into a book that you can read and you can learn those same lessons. So I'm a big reader. Number 2, what are you saying? This one is like, talk to yourself, really? Yeah. And even if you don't think you're talking to yourself, you are, because you have an inner voice that's going on all the time. The thing is when you proactively change what you're saying, what comes out of your mouth about yourself, you're rewiring your brain. You're rewiring the way that you think about yourself. So I would recommend, as silly as it is, if you've never done this, you just start in the morning and you write down some things that you want to improve in your life and you speak them as if they're already there. I am wealthy. I am happy. I have a great marriage. I have great relationships. I'm peaceful. I have joy. I have contentment. Start saying these things, and I guarantee you, in the beginning, you're going to feel very silly. It's gonna feel a little weird, but you'll see after time, you start thinking differently. You start handling challenges differently. That's why you get the Kobe Bryants with 3 seconds left in the game. There's no pressure because he had self-talk in his life where he's like, yeah, I'm the guy that should have the ball. So what are you saying? And then the third one, who are you associating with? This is one thing that changed my life dramatically when I was in my 20s, because I got into, let's just say I wasn't the best as a teenager going into my 20s. I was hanging around with some suspect people, and I changed that. I got around entrepreneurs. I got around Christian businessmen that taught me that integrity is important and that winning is important and that we have a responsibility to win for the people around us. And I sat at the feet of, in my opinion, just some of the greatest men, people that took an interest in me and they mentored me. But here's the thing. Nobody's just going to come across the street and just decide to mentor you. You have to seek mentorship. That has to be something that you're proactive about. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So you have to make a decision. Who are the in my corner? Jim Rohn, I think, is the one famous for saying this, that you'll become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And that is true in every area of your life, in your fitness, in your relationships, in your finances. And so if I can leave you with something today, it's those 3 tips. Mindset matters. And just do a little checklist. What am I reading? What am I saying to myself and about myself? And who am I associating with? And who am I spending time with? Thanks.
And I love it. Oh, I missed 1 minute of it.
Sorry that my the sun is shining in here.
Okay. Yeah, it's good that the sun comes out for sure. Yeah, it did change from the time I had to go to the bathroom. My 2 cups of coffee and my shake had gone through my system, and I was my back teeth were floating, and I could hear you a little bit when I went downstairs. But thank you so much for bringing this to our attention, because I know we share the same thought process about how we cultivate that mindset. So I really enjoy another person's version of it. And I love what you're doing out there in the marketplace and how you're impacting lives through the mindset and helping people to understand that it is a choice. And thank you, Brian, for bringing us this important message. Appreciate you. Brian has 5 kids, so he's very busy. So I told him, I said, just come on for 5 minutes and then you can get back to the family and your work. But thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Pete.
Awesome. And we'll put information about how to get a hold of Brian. He runs a successful insurance agency. If you're in the area or need any help, we'll put that information in the show notes so you can get a hold of Brian. So thank you so much, Brian.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, our next speaker, I see him in the house, and I'm going to go to his information. Oops, I went the wrong way there. Hold on here. Oh, geez, where is Joe's stuff? Okay, hold on here. I know dang, what the heck, Joe? Okay, let me put Joe in the house first. Joe, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Man, excited to have you here. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Okay.
How's the sound?
It is beautiful, coming through clear as a glass behind you. So you're good. Let me give you a proper introduction so our community knows. We'll have an idea who they're listening to. Okay. I had a chance to meet Joe. We're both high performance coaches through Brendan Bouchard. We're certified. And we do what we call, to keep our skills sharp, we coach in a circle. And so when I got a chance to hear and meet Joe, he shared his story with me, and it blew me away. The impact that somebody can have on individuals based on their testimony and their story. And one thing that really stuck out the other day was really what he's going to share with you today, because he has been through a lot and he has faced fear. Coming face to face. Oh, with my fear. Okay. I was reading it wrong. Okay. Conquering fear. I mean, fear is a muscle, and if you let it grow, it'll grow. But Joe's going to share with you about his journey and how you can come face to face with your fear and conquer your fears. So, Joe, thanks so much for taking the time to be in with us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man. Blessed to be here.
Okay.
Have any of you had a fear that you've had to overcome? When I was out there risking my life getting high, I couldn't imagine life without having some kind of drug in my system. I remember when my sister was driving me to rehab and we passed the Starbucks. I asked her to stop at the Starbucks so I could use the bathroom. And when I got in that bathroom, I had no intentions on doing a number one or number two. What I really wanted was to get high one last time before going to rehab. I'm in the bathroom stall with a needle in my hand, and I'm ready to shoot up cocaine and heroin. I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm risking my life, the fact that I could leave my sister outside waiting for me because I don't make it outside, the fact that I could never see my children again, or that I might be taking my last breath. All I'm thinking about is myself. How selfish. I had fears. I had all these fears that I was trying to escape. The fears of withdrawals, the fears of living life without drugs, because I had no idea of any other way to live. I turned into 1% of my true self. You see, I didn't understand what life would be like without drugs and alcohol. And all these fears caused were anxiety, self-doubt, worry, imposter syndrome. But then I realized that putting the drugs down, that was the easy part. I had to peel the onion back and take stock of who I was. I had to learn to be able to look into the mirror and apologize to myself for all the damage that I did. I had to learn to be able to change my mindset and realize that I was a spiritual being living a human experience and that I could do anything that I put my mind to. But it wasn't until I faced those fears head on and chose to get help on overcoming my demons, that's when I was able to achieve sobriety and have that paradigm shift. So now, rather than feeling powerless over drugs and alcohol, out there chasing some bullshit high, now I gain power from prayer and meditation every single day, which is so much more empowering than chasing a high that ends up having me feeling low. Facing that fear has changed my life forever, and my gratitude is through the roof for that. Remember, you're not defined by your fear. It doesn't define your life. Keep that in mind, and it's going to help you recall successful times to help you dig in, find your resilience, your confidence, and get that swag back. Change the way you look at fear. Look at it as an opportunity to grow. Because when you overcome obstacles such as fear, you grow through that learning lesson. And that can and will have an amazing impact on your life. 3 strategies that I've learned from overcoming fear. The first, face your fears rather than running from them. When you run from your fears, eventually they always come back to bite you in the ass. For some people, fear stands for fuck everything and run. You want to change that to face everything and reforge. The second, your mind is the most powerful tool you were blessed with. You're a spiritual being living a human experience, and you can do anything you put your mind to. And the third one, and this one is vital, lean into your faith rather than your fear. Because you see, faith and fear can be looked at as the same thing. It's something that you believe in, but you can't touch it, you can't feel it, but you know it exists. I'd rather lean into my faith to overcome my fear any day of the week. So those 3 strategies: face your fears rather than running from them. Your mind is the most powerful tool you were blessed with. And lean into your faith to overcome your fears. I'd love to stay connected with y'all and help you overcome your fears and shatter your goals. So connect with me at withjoerivera.com/links. I'm going to leave you with this. Ralph Waldo Emerson had a quote that says, always do what you're afraid of. I'm Joe Rivera. Step up and reforge your life today.
Man, I love that, Joe. Man, we all have those fears, some of them larger than others because we've allowed them to grow. But I love that you're leaning in and facing them, because your story helps people to recognize that you're either going to let your fear grow or you're going to conquer it. And it takes intentionality. And your story helps us to really come to grips with the fear we all have in ourselves. Sometimes there's things that we don't even know hold us back. So thank you, Joe, for taking time out to share with our community your valuable message. And if you're a group out there, an organization, and you need somebody to come in and really share his story and be able to emphasize the potential we each have, but sometimes we just don't know it's there because we've allowed fear to cloud our vision of what we have for our life. But it takes intentionality. And Joe can come in and speak to your organization, or he can coach you into a mindset to be able to capture. So, Joe, thank you so much for sharing with our community your valuable story and message today.
Thanks for having me, Pete. Appreciate it, man.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. All righty. So when you hear from speakers like Joe, you want to take action. You don't want to just say, that was really moving, but take action. Contact him. If you have an organization, share this with the event planner, with somebody that can get in touch with Joe to be able to put him in front of your audience, in front of your people, because we all have that potential, but we have to activate it. And you can activate it when you have somebody like Joe really have put himself through a story that will help you frame that anything's possible, but it takes you to activate it. So thank you, Joe, again. All right, let me see where we are, because we're not winging it, but we're just moving along. Okay, so I want to talk to you about, we've talked about the 7-Eleven 4. And this is something that if you're out there and you're a creator and you're always thinking, I don't know what the algorithms are doing. I don't know how I can put myself out there so people can hear my message. Well, if you think of key person of influence, if you think about it, the magic is in you, but you have the magic to give, but you got to put yourself out there on a digital. That's why we do these virtual summits on the first and third Friday of each month, because we want to put the digital content out there for our community. 5 minutes, 3 points, be able to give you the best of our speakers. Now, it starts with the podcast for us because we want to know your story. We want to know the kind of person that you are and how we can help you in our community. The only way we do it, we got to know your story. We got to know you. To know, like, and trust digitally is through a podcast. So that's a platform. An assessment. An assessment is really giving people an idea of who they are, answering questions about their journey so you know how to serve them. If you don't know about the person, we want our people to fill out an assessment before they get on the podcast, because I've got to know the questions to ask you. I've got to know where your story connects with our community. And to know that is through an assessment. That's another form of a platform. The book. If you don't have a book, you're missing opportunity, because a book is a way for a person to get to know you. You don't have to write War and Peace, a novel, but you have to write a book that people will raise their hand and say, I want more. I like what Joe's talking about. I like what Brian's talking about. I like what Jim's talking about. I want more. And if they want more, they're raising their hand and they're giving you a buying signal. We talk about 7, 11, 4. The 11 is buying signals. If people aren't leaning into you and interested in you, then they're not interested. You may be passionate about your journey and what you have to offer, but not everybody's the same. So if they're giving you buying signals, they're buying your book, they're on your podcast, they're taking an assessment, they're in your magazine, they're watching a podcast that you did, they're commenting on it. These are all buying signals. They attend your workshop, they attend your webinar. You've got to give people an opportunity to raise their hand. And when they raise their hand, they're leaning into you. I recommend this book to everybody that I have that's in the creator community. People have to get to know you, like you, and trust you. They do that. If I meet you at an event, it's so easy for me to pick up my phone and search you. What do they say about this person that I just met? If I don't see anything online, I don't go any further, because I think, well, it was a great conversation, but maybe that person isn't what I thought they were. But if they search you and they see plenty of content, and I can start getting to know you better by buying your book, listening to your podcast, listening to your content, I'm starting my journey with you. And that journey starts with the content that I absorb, the content I get to know you with. 7 hours, 11 buying signals, and 4 different platforms. So get the book, Key Person of Influence, and be on that journey of creating your digital profile. Your digital profile is so important because we're in a digital economy. You could be doing business halfway around the world if you put your digital profile together. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So Growth Day is who sponsors our summit. We talk about the 5 to Thrive, and this is our thoughts do matter. And if you can imagine, we take showers because we take showers. Okay. Go to the gym. You don't take a shower for a couple weeks. I guarantee you people are not going to be wanting to be around you because you're going to stink. Well, think of it mentally. If you don't take a personal development shower, you don't improve your thoughts. You'll be like people I saw a little clip. They were burning Teslas in California or something. I mean, really, the guy's he's rescuing astronauts. He's creating amazing products, and you're burning his cars because you've got a pretty poor mindset. Your thoughts are so evil and I got to destroy. Be a creator. Be a creator. Work on your thoughts. Work on your mindset. And to do that, it takes a daily thing because the news is negative. If you're a news junkie, I tell you what, you're putting yourself through a mindset of negativity. And people don't want to be around people that are like that. So take a shower in personal development. Growth Day, 5 to Thrive, Brendan Bouchard. Whatever you can look him up online. For 20 plus years, he has been working on helping people improve their mindset, improve their personal development, because it's a decision. You can get a daily dose of personal development to help your thoughts. And we call it the 5 to Thrive. Brendan talks to you for 10, 12 minutes, then a related video, then 2 thought-provoking questions to get your mind right, and then you score yourself. If you can't measure yourself, you can't improve. So you have to score yourself. We talk about the library of learning, because if you're constantly getting better, you're going to perform better. People are going to be wanting to be around you. And if you take a shower in personal development, your mindset will be better. And together you're better when you're constantly improving, constantly getting better. And you do it through the library of learning. You can get access for 7 days. Let me see if I can go to it right here, because I want you to improve. There we go. You can try it for 7 days. For my U.S. Listeners, Costco is pretty big in the U.S., and I think in Canada too. They do samples because they want you to see the quality of that product, because you're buying a big product. But if you sample it and like it, you buy it. So try it for 7 days. Try Growth Day for 7 days. You try it for 7 days. You have somebody speaking to you for 7 days. If that doesn't influence your thoughts, well, I don't know what to say outside of you're making a choice to either improve or not. And if you choose to improve, choose to get better, like Brian talked about, like Joe talked about, like Jim talked about, you will become stronger in your thoughts and your mindset. And then when that fear hits, which it all hits, you put it in that small box and you grow your faith and courage and you tackle things and you get momentum and you get into a flow. So journaling has helped me. Like, I've never really journaled until I had a stroke. And then I had plenty of free time to think. Now my routine is think, journal, plan, implement. Think, journal, plan, implement. And it has served my personal growth like I've never seen before. Okay, so to go to Growth Day, go to Growth Day, go to pkane.me/Growth Day. And then once you try it for 7 days, send us a support ticket, support@pkane.me, and we'll send you my free course, Mindset, Goals, and Habits. All righty, let me get this off here, and we're going to go to our next speaker, which is me. All right. Okay. So connecting is so important. And our community is a global community. And so when we think globally, we expand our world. There's 8 billion people on the planet. And I think there's 1.5 billion that speak English. So if you're an English speaking creator, would you want to tap in to 1.5 billion people? If the answer is yes, then our global meetup, we do this on a weekly basis. We want you to connect globally, build your global network, connect with like-minded people, learn more about the Key Person of Influence book, the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps: pitch, pitch, profile, product, presentation, and partnerships. So you practice those 5 Ps and you get your content out there. You build your digital profile. The world, it will open up to you. So Connect will help you to understand more of the KPI, Key Person of Influence philosophy, and will introduce you to people globally. And that's weekly on a Wednesday. But you can go to pkane.me/connect to see and register for that. So you'll be notified when we have them weekly. Okay. All righty, let me see what we got going on. Okay, here we go. Oh, me, this is so good. Oh, man, I don't. Okay, so our community is a giving community. We're all building businesses. We all want to help because together we're better. So we have a brand ambassador opportunity. And that brand ambassador opportunity, and let me see if I can go to, yes, here I can. Okay, I want you to be able to grow with us. And to do that, dang, I thought you're going to put pk.me/ambassador. I know I have it up here. Hold on here, Nelly. I need to label my things better. Better together, we're better. Hold on here. There we go. There we go. So you go to pk.me/ambassador so you can register. We want you to be on the podcast first. Then you can participate, be able to participate in our ecosystem and our community because we want you to grow, earn, and grow. Earn and grow. We have a Key Person of Influence magazine, which we put together with our podcast and our print, and we put it together 20 people at a time. We coach you on high performance. When you look at high performance, there's a exact way we do things. Brendan Bouchard's been doing it for 20 plus years. He has been influencing people around the globe. There's about, I think in Growth Day, close in on 500,000 people. I don't know for sure, but it's a lot of people. And through his work, he's developed the high performance habits. Now, high performance habit is free in Growth Day. So you try it for 7 days, you can try high performance habits. And in the high performance habits is clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. Those are the 5. You put your emphasis on clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. That's the high performance mindset. Now, our 12-week journey is a transformation for you to make these improvements, to be a different person. Go through 12 weeks. We start with focal points, which is basically establishing your goals, what you're doing. You got to know your professional and personal goals. We do 3 at a time over the 12 weeks. Then we get into clarity. I've been able to get incredible clarity through journaling, through asking myself better questions, getting my thoughts out of my head onto paper. So we teach you once a week, we get with you to emphasize and perfect clarity. Not perfect, but to learn it to a different level. Energy is next, because if you don't show up with the energy, you're not getting the most out of the day. A lot of people that I talk to have that fatigue when you're not prioritizing. We call it prioritize daily action. PDP. My initials, man. P. Prioritize. PDA. Okay. If you're not doing that, you're not going to have the energy level that's possible. So if you're watching 4 hours of TV and scrolling 2 hours of social media, I guarantee you're going to have low energy because you're consuming negative things. It's going to wear on you and you're going to not have the proper time to get things done. Because when you have that, your productivity goes up, your courage muscle goes up. So there is a specific reason for clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence in a sequence. Because once you hit influence and you go into psychology mastery, you start working on the mind more, you start developing strategies to have a better mindset. Then the body, the physical nature, to make sure you're mastering a more deeper, more impactful, transformational mindset. And then productivity, where you go to mastery of it, because we only have 24 hours in each day. How you use it determines a lot if you're performing at the highest possible level. And high performance is not just do it for 12 weeks and forget, but it's intended to transform you into thinking high performance, understanding it, being a part of your life, because personal development is that thought process. And if you're mastering and you're getting the 12 weeks journey, and each week you're focusing on one thing and you're getting that transformation in that area, you're going to turn a different person when you finish the 12 weeks. It's going to ignite you. So you're committing to a high performance life in week 12. And when you look at purpose, we all need to understand how valuable purpose is. It's not one purpose. It's showing up on time with purpose. It's attending that meeting on purpose. It's knowing that when you start that day, when Joe said meditation and prayer, it's praying about the day ahead. It's meditating about the day ahead. Those are purposeful habits. And if you have those, your day will be better. And so when you look at persuasion in week 10, if you're not a good persuader of your ideas, of your thoughts, you're going to look around and not see anybody, because that has to do with your influence. But you have to be able to get people to follow. And to be a leader, you have to work on it. You don't wake it up one day and you have it. It's constantly working on this framework. And so persuasion is important to the success of what you have. So when you look at our ambassador program in the Key Strategic Partner magazine, which will let you know, I can't do it right now, but you can sign up at our website, pkane.me/ambassador. That way you can earn and grow and be a part of our key person community. Together, we're better. Okay, let's go on to the next one, our KPI Club. You know, investment in yourself is the best investment you could ever make. Nothing close, nothing close. So investing in yourself, it comes at levels. The more you believe that you are worthy of an investment, the more you'll make. But we don't always start, because we have one-on-one opportunities to be coached, but that's the highest level. That's going to cost you $2,000 a month over 12 weeks. So that's a $6,000 investment. You might say, I don't think I'm worth that. Okay, that may be your mindset at this moment, but could you afford to invest $97 a month? Would that be something that could start you on that journey of really crafting a better mindset, better thoughts, better strategy? Because if you have a better strategy, today is the best for this year. This is going to be an absolute game-changing year for us. It's the best opportunity in my lifetime. I'm 67. So if you're over 67, it's the best in your lifetime too. And under, yes. So it is. We talk about podcasting, publishing, and building thriving communities, but once a month, I'll be with you, 3 to 5 strategies and a worksheet. So if you want to take advantage of that, just go to, I think I have it. Just go through, no, let me see if I do. I want you to be able to, yes, here I do. Hold on, Nelly. Dang, I know I had it. I better label these things better. Well, if you just use KPI Club, pkane.back/KPI Club, there's a $1 trial. Try it. See if it doesn't impact your life. Then it's $97 a month. But stay connected to us. Stay involved in being a key person of influence. of understanding how podcasting can help you build relationships and create digital content out there. Be a part of publishing in our magazine, because our magazine is, I don't think we have, well, let me go on to the next one, because we're going to finish on time, because that's what we do around here. Okay. Podcasting Academy. See, you are the magic and anything is possible. Creating digital assets, being global in your thinking is going to give you more opportunities. More opportunities allow you to expand, allow you to grow, allow you to do whatever you want, because anything is possible. And you are the magic. Online courses. I was just talking to a young lady who's built an incredible business in the 3 years she's been in business. And thinking digitally, thinking that 3-year journey, she has learned so much that she could share with you. And when she shares the path that she went on, it's going to shorten your learning curve. So if you've been thinking, you know what? I've been thinking about podcasting. We elected a president based on, that was a big part of it, 40 hours of podcasting. When you're on the Joe Rogan show, you reach millions of people. Why wouldn't you want to be on there? Well, if you're not confident in your message, you won't. And one person didn't, and one person did. One person got elected, one person did not. So you decide the path you want for yourself, because creating authentic relationships is possible with podcasting. And if you want to build relationships, create digital assets, and create a digital online course, then the global world opens up to you. And if you go to, let's see, I know what I'm going to be doing later on today is organizing this better, because together we're better. Okay, here we go. If you go to pkane.me/PA for Podcast Academy, we have a waiting list. And so we are going to see if people want this. But I would have wanted it for sure, because I've been doing probably 400 podcasts, but I stumbled through it. I just didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I've learned in 3 years a lot about this. And my friend Mark Little and I have Podcast Academy. So you have a person that's phenomenal in StreamYard, has been doing podcasting. Myself, I've done 400 podcasts. I've been doing it full time, over and over and over. You develop some successful strategies. And with that, you shorten your learning curve. We'll coach you through Podcasting Academy. But go to pkane.me/PA. And if you're interested, get on our waiting list. And when we're ready to launch, we'll contact you. It'll be shortly, but you got to tell us, buying signal. You got to tell us you're interested. If you're not interested, don't sign up. If you are, let's have you see, because we got to see if our community wants this. If they don't want it, we don't create it. That's what a waiting list is all about. The buying signal is telling us you're interested. It's $197 a month. And if you're interested, we will teach you. We give you courses to be able to have as part of your commitment to you, because you are the magic and anything is possible. Okay, I think we are, coaching. Now, there are people that don't mind investing in themselves, that have that confidence that a $2,000 investment will bring back 10 times. So if you want to invest in yourself, you want to check out coaching, you want to see if you qualify, see if you're ready for it. Well, there is, if you are, let me see if I can go to it. Yes, go through a strategy session with me, with our community as we grow. But that is pkane.me/SS, because that's a commitment that if you're not ready, we're not going to enroll you, because I only do 4. So, but when we come to the Key Strategic Partner magazine, that might be something that you'd be interested in, because At $300 a month, you can be coached and build a community, be coached every week, on focal points, clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence, psychology mastery, physiology mastery, productivity mastery, persuasion mastery, purpose mastery, and a commitment to a life of high performance, because it's a mindset. Once you understand the value of 20 plus years from Brendan Bouchard putting this together, certifying people, and it ain't easy. It was a week of intense learning, and it's intense continuing learning, monthly, regular contact with people that are going to help you help others understand the value of high performance coaching. And through this journey, you can go on with us a 12-week transformation, because we're going to put you and 20 others, your team that you put together. And I did it earlier on the key strategic partner strategy, but you're going to put your team of 36 people. You're going to select 20 of them to go on the journey with high performance coaching. And then once you go through coaching, then you're also part of the magazine. So your story is in the magazine. So when you make a presentation to your ideal prospect and you give them, your team, in the magazine, their story. So when they need people to help them, they can look in there, get to know the person, call you, say, I noticed you had this. Is this person, do you think this person can help me with this? And be able to check and trust and verify. Then that's possible, because you're a collaborative effort with others. You're trained as a group of 20 people in this transformational process. And then the KPI Club, what we just talked about, that's a monthly strategy to promote you. So as we wind down, look at yourself. Do you want to invest in yourself? Do you feel that this is the right time to invest in yourself? The magic is in you, and anything's possible. 2025 is going to be the biggest year of our lifetime. And maybe it's the biggest time for you to be able to be a high performance, to be coached by a high performance certified coach, to go through vocal points, clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence. Each week, you're zeroing in, to be able to have worksheets each week, to be able to apply these: psychology, physiology, productivity mastery, persuasion mastery, purpose mastery, and a commitment to high performance. Book a strategy session with me. Go to pkane.me/SS. So, for those that want to take advantage of a magazine, like we talked about in this, let me go back to it. If you want to take advantage of our Key Strategic Partner magazine, go to pkane.me/magazine. You can sign up, then we'll teach you how to build around you. We do it through podcasting, publishing, and building thriving communities. We give you bonuses. We give you, and you can see this at pkane.me/magazine. This way, you can position yourself for the best year ever. In 2025, with all the trends that are happening that we talked at the beginning, the entrepreneur revolution, the digital revolution, the crypto revolution, the AI revolution, the mobile revolution, the personal development revolution, all these are coming together. You can have the wind behind your sails, but you got to activate. You got to you can't just think about it. You got to do it. So if you're a doer and you want to make changes in your life and you feel that this is the best time to do it, and it is, because 2025, all the changes that are happening, it could be behind you. And if you want one-on-one coaching, take a strategy session, because you are the magic and anything is possible. Okay. Thank you for being here. If you want to be a part of our community, get on our podcast because, you know, everybody, everybody, everybody has to generate leads, create cash flow, and be part of a thriving community. Those are the three pillars of success. So we do it through podcasting, publishing, and building thriving communities. If that's something you want to be a part of, just go to pkane.me and fill out a short assessment. Give me some questions to ask you on the podcast. We'll feature you and your story and connect you up with people in our community. So today's the day to make those changes. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And your first step may be get on our podcast. It could be take advantage of a strategy session. Take advantage of being a key person of influence. Be coached by a high-performance coach. Have a framework of 12 individual sessions to impact and transform you in the person that you dream to be. Because it takes action. It takes you. So thank you so much for being here. I want to thank our speakers. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jim. And thanks to Joe. Joe is up in the Northeast. Jim and Brian are here local in the Atlanta area. We have our live event tomorrow at Grace. Savannah Rose and Jim will be with us at this live event. If you want and you're in the area of Atlanta and want to come to it, it's at Grace Church at Town Center Mall in Kennesaw. But you can go to pkane.me/live to register. And then we'll always let you know when we have it. It's the fourth Saturday of every month. Fourth Saturday. That is from 10 to 11:30. So get your shot in the arm. Come learn from our speakers. Come see if you want to be a part of it. And if you do, we would love to have you. You first have to be a guest on our podcast. So, all righty. Thank you so much. And to be a guest, go to pkane.me and register, take an assessment, and be on our podcast. Because you are the magic and anything is possible. Oh, dang, that person keeps... I have no idea. Cheap viewers on... Oh, is that... maybe she's listening or he's listening. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to say anything, but I appreciate you being a viewer. But I don't know what that means. All righty. Thank you so much. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Okay. Jim that talked about Substack. Hold it, Jim. I have his information. I misspelled his name. Dadgummit. Jim, I'll make that correction. Hold on here. Let's see. Oops, no. There we go. Here we go. Go to jimfuse.substack. So being dyslexic, I butcher names. Sorry about that, Jim. But you can go to jimfuse.substack to follow Jim. And that's somebody you're going to want to follow. You're going to want to do. Whenever I need somebody, I hire Jim. Jim, when we're starting our live event, I hired Jim to do it. I've been following Jim, and he is an expert in his area. And you do want to know what's going on, because if you stay close to Jim, you're going to stay close to how things are evolving in this fast evolving world. So thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. Make a difference. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.